Well, I've been here now in Cambodia for 10 days. It's time to add up those receipts and see how much this has all cost me. Am I staying within budget? Is this place really that cheap to live? I think you're going to be surprised when I add up the receipts. So in this video, I'm going to go through adding up all the receipts and see what it comes to. Well, a quick inspection of my wallet. Seems like there's still some notes there, but let's delve deeper into it and have a look at the actual receipts. So these are the documents you're going to need to get in. I did the eVisa. I did this online and I printed it out. Make sure you get the one that has E so that you can extend it for work purposes. The T one, I believe you can't. You will have to do a border run. So prevent that headache for yourself. Make sure it's E or EB, I think. Right, I will post the link to the site where you can do your visa, your Cambodian visa, for you in the video's description. What you also need is proof that you're leaving the country. So what I did is I just bought a bus ticket from Phnom Penh to Ho Chi Minh City after about a month, so I could prove to them I was leaving. But when I decided I like Cambodia, I did refund this ticket. So I did this with 1-2Go, so it is refundable. And it's a nice way you can prove to immigration that you are actually leaving the country. So it's important you get all your ducks in a row. Then, of course, you need your passport wherever you're from. I believe you need to show at least 6 months. It expires in at least 6 months' time. So, yeah, these are the magic 3 to get through immigration in Cambodia. Okay, so here is the spreadsheet I've drawn up to just have a look, a nice organized way to look at all the costs incurred in this experiment of mine. Alright, so the first thing to do is to get obviously your passport in order. Luckily for me, I had a few years left on my passport, so I didn't have to renew it. But in your case, you'll have to check when it expires. I think you need more than 6 months left on your passport for them to let you in at immigration. Right, the next thing is you need obviously a visa, and it's an eVisa, not the T. The T is a tourist one, which means you can't extend it, so you'd have to do border runs, so you do not want that headache. So just make sure you're getting the E one, and apparently it's fairly easy to do an extension at the travel agencies locally. That cost me $35. A flight ticket, which I booked on Skyscanner, from Durban to Phnom Penh, it was included 3 flights. It was just less than $510 US. Then what I did to prove that I'm not going to stay forever in Cambodia, to show immigration that I do have plans to leave, or I can leave Cambodia if I need to, I bought a bus ticket from Phnom Penh to Ho Chi Minh City, and that cost $22.95, just less than 23, but that's an important document. So some people will buy a return ticket, which is far more expensive than the extra $22.95 add-on. And I don't know if you can get a refund on the return part of the ticket, whereas this one you can, and I did manage to get the refund. Alright, I used to live on a small town on the south coast of South Africa, and the shuttle cost me $15 to get to King Shaka International Airport in Durban. I had like 5 hours before my flight was going to take off, so I thought I'd spoil myself at a local restaurant franchise called Spur. Decided to go for a small piece of steak, because I think steak, well, at that time I thought steak is really expensive in Cambodia. So let me have one last piece of juicy South African steak, so I spoiled myself there. And then basically from the aeroplane all the way to Phnom Penh, I just ate the food that was on the aeroplane. I didn't buy anything at the cafes or at duty free or anything like that. So my next expense was actually the SIM card at Teko International Airport. That cost me about $12.40. I think it was about 400 gigs, I don't know. But it seems to be working fine. I'm scrolling on my phone, I'm doing all my emails and messages, what have you, so that was fine. But the most important thing is to do it at the airport, unless you do have one of these international roaming SIM cards, because you want to avoid the aggressive taxi drivers, so that you can order your lift to your hotel with the Grab app. So that's what I did. I ordered the Grab, and because it's just me, there wasn't that much luggage, so the tuk-tuk cost less than $10. and the taxi drivers were aggressively trying to get me to pay $25. So right away I saved $15 just like that. Right, my accommodation at White Corner Hotel, which is a very comfortable hotel. It's got the aircon, a nice sizable room, the bed is comfortable. And I took the package that included a buffet breakfast, which means it was a great way to start the day, and I never really got hungry until later in the afternoon, because I'd make sure that because it's a buffet I would eat enough to get me through the day. And some days they would have things like either boiled egg or bananas, so I would grab a piece of two and just take that up to my room to snack on sort of in mid-afternoon or late afternoon, just to get me through to dinner time. But I've never really been that hungry since I've been here. Food and drinks, it's been about the $5 a day mark, sometimes well less and sometimes a bit over. So I think I'm averaging at about $5 a day, mostly through the Grab app and Panda app. And sometimes I also bought food at the restaurant below. They have quite nice specials every now and then where you get a meal and a free beer, and it's about $5. So a really good deal, and their food is really good. So yeah, seeing it was for averaging for about 10 days, it obviously works out to $50. Tic-tac rides. Obviously initially, as you know, if you've been following my other videos, I was out looking for work. I was averaging about $3 a day, so for 10 days, that obviously works out to $30. I've done laundry once since I've been here, and it was $2 per kilo. My laundry was 2 kilograms. I'm not really wearing that much clothes. It's mainly shorts and t-shirts and short sleeve shirts, so it's not bulky at all. So that's quite cheap. I'm sure if I shopped around I could get cheaper at one of the ones on the street, but that's not too bad. Alright, so the grand total, it cost me just less than $920 to do the big move, stay here for 10 days, and to be honest, I feel totally relaxed. I haven't had any health issues. I haven't eaten street food. So going back to that $5 a day, I have not been eating street food. I didn't want to risk it. The last thing I needed was an upset stomach while I'm job hunting. So for me, a big thing was the food. And on that topic, on the flights, I made a point not to eat fruit or drink the fruit juice in case it upset my stomach. And that's worked brilliantly. So my health has been really good, no issues there. And as you can see through my previous videos, I've been out, I've been about, I've been looking for jobs, I've been making YouTube videos. So thank goodness my health has been really good. But I've been careful about it. So I haven't been eating any dodgy foods or street foods. I'll leave that to other YouTubers. You're not going to see me eating cockroaches and crickets and things like that. I want to be well, and I want my stomach to be well. All right, so let's have a look. So I created this other spreadsheet to have a look at the living costs. So let's say you pull out all the flight and all, just to get here costs. What would that look like? Okay, so the accommodation was $215.12. The food and drinks, we know it's $50. The Grab, it's $30, that was $4. The SIM card, because it's 10 days, I divided it and worked out how much it was for 10 days instead of the month. So the total cost to live for the total cost for 10 days came to $303.26. That's just living costs. And obviously divide by 10, that gives you just over $30 a day. And if you want a rough monthly cost, we just times that by 30 days in a month. So that kind of comes out just less than $910. So if you had to live a very comfortable lifestyle here in Phnom Penh, I haven't even tried to look for cheap apartments or anything. That's just to get here and just to try and settle in. You're looking at $910 and you're very comfortable. I'm not a gym kid, so maybe if you like gym, you'll have to research and add maybe gym fees onto that, or stay in a place that has a gym. Also, there's no health insurance on that. Maybe you want to be more careful than I have been and add some sort of travel health insurance on that. So yeah, I hope this video gives you a good idea. So monthly cost, living comfortably at the moment, $910. A big move from a country like South Africa cost me just less than $920. Obviously, you will have to, put in your own figures for flights and things like that, because your situation will be different. All right, so that's it for this one. The next 7 days, I've booked somewhere much cheaper. I want to keep that a bit of a secret. So I'm on a mission now to see how low can I go for the next 7 days. So all I can tell you is I'm going to rough it up. It's going to be totally different to how I have been living. And just to see, if things are tough, how low can you go on a weekly cost? Make sure you subscribe, click notify, and all that good stuff. Or if there's somebody that's going to Phnom Penh soon, maybe you'd like to forward these YouTube videos to them, and I think they'll find them very beneficial, especially when it comes to planning the big exciting trip.